Elio had his accident at Paul Ricard, and he passed away, which hurt a lot of people in Formula One because Elio was A, very talented, but B, a super, super nice guy.
So this was Elio de Angelis, who was racing for Bernie Ecclestone's Brabham team. So what happened next?
So I then didn't know whether to call Bernie. I wasn't really sure. I thought it was an opportunity. But in the end, I thought, out of respect for Elio, that I shouldn't make the call. 10 days afterwards, Bernie called me, sent his plane over. And when I sat in front of Bernie, he was disgusted. Within minutes of him apparently dying, he had drivers on the phone trying to take the drive, which I wasn't prepared to do, I'll be honest with you. And I think Bernie respected that in me. And then the negotiations with Bernie were quite short and sweet, shall we say.
What was it? What is it like?
Well, it's funny because he gives me a call.
So he sends his plane over.
Yeah, so he said, do you want to drive for me? I said, I'd like to talk to you, Bernie. He said, I'll send a plane over for you. So he'd send a plane over, flew in. So by the time I got the phone call to the time I arrived at Brabham, I'd built myself up to 100 million. You know, I was, they needed Derek Warwick. He was going to lift the team up. The team was obviously very sad, very down. So by the time I got to Bernie, I downgraded it to 25 million. So Bernie offered me this number, and I said, no, Bernie, we're worlds apart here. Yes, I want to drive for you. It's dead man seat. There's a lot of work to do here. The car's not good. Gordon's lost a little bit of focus. I've got a lot of work to do. He said, you misunderstand, Derek. He said, this is the contract. So I said, well, look, before we start talking numbers, let me have a look around, talk to the team. No. He said, you're not going through that door until you sign this contract. And to be fair to Bernie, he gave me Elio's contract. So I signed Elio's contract less 6 races or whatever, 7 races. So he was fair to me. And it wasn't about numbers anyway, because I desperately wanted to get back into Formula One. And I just thought, although the car was pretty awful, we had Gordon Murray, and Gordon Murray's, he's a magician. He will put a widget valve on and it will go 2 seconds quicker. But of course, the car was pretty poor. Engine was amazing. We were qualifying with 1250, 1300 horsepower. It was pretty special. But of course, Gordon had sort of lost a bit of interest and the car wasn't the best car.
And you say it wasn't a good car, but Gordon will tell you that was effectively the McLaren MP44 from 1988, wasn't it? It was the same sort of low-lying design, but obviously it was flawed.
It wasn't stiff enough because it was so low and so everything so compact. It was twisting a lot. So you would change things on the car like springs and dampers and all that sort of stuff and roll bars, and it didn't really make any difference. I tested a long time at Ricard, and Bernie came to the test, and I remember screaming and shouting to Ricardo and Gordon, telling them what I thought of the car. And I don't hold back when something's bad. I said, without a doubt, this is the worst effing car I've ever driven in my life. And the door opened and Bernie appeared. Bernie looked at me and he said, what's the car like? I said, nice, good. It was good. It's good, Bernie, good. Because I was petrified of the man, and he said to me, well, why are you so slow then? So you don't kid Bernie, that's for sure.
Yeah.